It's pretty overwhelming and humbling how people have sort of reacted to the show from day one. We're excited to celebrate all of these milestones together. I mean, we're here for the season 2 finale, which is still mind-blowing to me that we've done 36 episodes of the show already.
I think people are diving more into who these characters are, the Pearsons and their extensions, and just understanding that we are not all too dissimilar from this family.
You can relate to all of these characters, and they're so flawed, but they're all such good people. They're good humans, and they lead with their heart, and they're always trying to do the right thing, and it's just damn hard sometimes, you know? And we stumble, and we're emotional creatures, and so this is a thing that you go through your entire life, and it's just over and over and over again. You're trying to get by and do the best you can, and that's what we see on This Is Us.
It's not lost on us how lucky we are to have this opportunity and that we've sort of managed to capture something in the zeitgeist, gotten people's attention in this crazy day and age of so much content out there. But it's the best job I've ever had, so I'm just really, really grateful that we keep getting the opportunity to do it.
Please welcome Isaac Aptaker. All right, next up, this is the man responsible for if you're going to therapy now or if you want to marry Milo Ventimiglia. This guy is the reason. He's brilliant. He's the nicest man. Please welcome creator Dan Fogelman. Woo. Bow down. Next up, he plays Kevin Pearson. He is the nicest guy. He can plan a wedding anytime. I'm not getting married anytime soon, but if he wants to plan it one day, I'm totally good with it. He's also one of the best in the business. Please welcome Justin Hartley. And next up, she is remarkable. I am blown away by her in every episode. She just flew from Australia with a stop in, I think, Ireland. I don't know. She flew all the way to be here with you guys, and I cannot thank her enough. Please welcome the tremendous Mandy Moore. And then finally, I don't think this guy needs an introduction, but in case you were wondering, his face is all over crock pots and slow cookers now, and he also is the biggest reason to check your batteries in your smoke detector. He's also the most genuine guy. I am so honored to call him a friend as well. Please welcome Milo Ventimiglia. All right, guys. First up, Isaac. I don't know if you guys knew, about a month ago, not even, there was this rumor that Beth was going to die. And I called up, there was this rumor that Beth was going to die because as we've seen now with Sterling in the future, as Randall, we never see his wedding ring. We never see that hand. So fans began to wonder what's going on with this. And then there was some blind item out there that a show which has only been on the air for less than 3 seasons might kill off a character that's so beloved and everything else. So there's this rumor that got started. So I hop on the phone with Isaac, and I'm like, Isaac, calm me down. Please tell me that Beth is not dying. And Isaac said to me, you can tell your readers it's okay. Beth is okay. So Isaac.
Yes.
Now that we've seen this scene with Randall and adult Tess, what has happened to Beth?
Well, I'm very careful during our conversations. My mother raised me never to lie. You asked me if Beth was going to get terminal cancer at the end of season 3.
No, I said, is she
As you can see, the end of season 2, rather. As you guys can all see, we did not do that storyline at the end of season 2. What's going to happen 15 years from now? Who's to say? I mean, but I think that I'm true to my word, and we did not do a storyline where Beth...
Look what you did to her face.
You're horrible! Wait a second. First of all, this is what I'm hoping. Well, this is horrible, too. I shouldn't even say this. But I'm like, maybe it's not Beth that they're going to see. Maybe it's Deja. Maybe it's... You cannot do anything bad to these people. Seriously. I mean...
Wait, already happened.
Okay, I
know. We did pretty much the worst thing.
You can't do anything more. That's what... Okay, let me ask you this. Let me try to get something out of you guys. Whatever does happen, will we find out what this situation is next season?
Situation?
Yeah,
You're talking about the end with
Randall and with Tess.
Yes.
We will.
Yes,
Is
but
it
I
gonna
wouldn't be
kill
waiting
us?
it for the season premiere.
Do we
I mean,
need
I think
therapy?
listen, the point of the ending and the point of the show is that if you watch your family videos 10 or 15 years apart from one another, you're always going to be surprised when you pop in the tape who's still there, who's not there, who may have passed away, who may have split up, what might have happened, who may have gotten in trouble. So there's a lot of possibilities for what they're talking about, and I think by the end of next season, you'll have a general sense of where it's going.
This doesn't help.
Fogelman is as good about masking things as we've all been for years.
How far in the future is this? Is Randall like 100 years old? Please tell me he's like 100.
We're roughly, we call it about 11 or 12 years in the future. 13 years, really. Tess is about 26.
This sucks. Oh, God. All right, that's all I'm going to get out of you on that
Yeah,
one.
we're not going to, yeah. But I think it will be rewarding when it's done. And the way that life can be rewarding and challenging and beautiful and messy, I think that's our goal, is we're painting the full picture of this family's life over decades, and that's what we're trying to show.
Okay, last thing on this then. Have you consciously been making sure we do not see Randall's wedding ring? Is that on purpose?
No. But the internet is a wild place, so that's exciting.
Oh, man. All right, Justin.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to finding out about this relationship with Zoe?
Oh, great. So I'm always up for, and as I think we all are, every time we read a script, you're flipping through it and you're trying to take it all in, but you also find yourself kind of zooming through it because you just want to find out what's going on. So I'm always up for anything new that they introduce to Kevin, whether it be a new relationship or a new job or a new failure, whatever it might be. Well, it's true though, right? Because as an actor, you get an opportunity to sort of sink your teeth into things, and they come up with such amazing stories. I mean, they sit in this room. I still don't know how you manage to do it week after week after week, but it's phenomenal. Every time I get a chance to do anything new on the show, I'm at the point now where it could be anything, and I'd be like, I'm into it, because they do great stuff. So they give us treats every single week.
I guess it's rest in peace, Kevin and Madison.
Oh.
That's not happening now, right?
Should we let people behind the curtain? Like, there's a funny little...
Well, Madison is my wife in real life.
She's right there, yeah.
Stand up, Caitlin. Caitlin Thompson. Hi.
So I had to watch through editorial as she flirts with the handsomest guy in the world. It was great. But no, that's never going to happen again. Yeah.
My favorite
That was
line
fun while it lasted.
I just love the line where you're like, make sure I don't sleep with her. She's crazy.
Right. Again, I didn't write it, that's not,
Oh, but at least it seems like Kevin's in a healthy place.
I think so. He's heading in the right direction, right? Yeah, and it's part of his part of who he is, and that stuff doesn't go away. But I think it's about managing it and trying to figure it out. And he's got this big support system around him, so he's moving in the right direction.
And by the way, I just have to say, what you did this season with Kevin's storyline, we need to give it up for Justin Hartley. Holy moly.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
That was incredible. For the cast down here, what storyline reveal towards the last 5 minutes stunned you the most? When you were going through the script, what were you completely shocked about, and how much do you guys know of what's going to happen in the future?
I think the Randall stuff was the most exciting. Just you want to know everything. He's talking to adult Tess.
And you want to know who he's talking about.
Yeah, and you want to know who he's talking about and why is it time? That was the biggest surprise. And then of course, we see Kevin going on a journey, and oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Toby's in bed. He's bummed, and he's on meds. What? Like, there's still that is something I know we've all talked about, but has always been the beautiful thing. Just when you think, oh, I got the answer, it's like our team of writers come up with the most brilliant ideas and direction and roads for us as actors to have to walk these characters down. And it's fulfilling and beautiful and heartbreaking and everything at the same time. It's the greatest job ever.
Mandy, how much do you know about what's going to happen in the future?
I just cornered Dan, actually, upstairs. I was like, wait, can you break down season 3 for me? I want to know everything. So now I know.
You do know.
I mean, I have an idea of what Dan just told me, but I was kind of suspecting sort of some of the directions. I don't know the full picture of where everybody's going, but I, of course, just want to know what I was doing.
Oh, man. Can I just, by the way, I know the fan theories kind of run wild. I had the craziest one. I don't know. I have to tell you what I thought of the other night. Obviously, there's got to be a reason why Kevin is going to Vietnam and he's holding that picture of Jack. And I thought, what if Jack fathered a child that he didn't know about when he was in Vietnam? And there's another.
Listen, hold on. Before you continue, Jack loves Rebecca.
No, this was before Rebecca.
I think Jack loved Rebecca before he knew Rebecca.
But what if there's another person, you're shaking your head. What if there's a half sibling that's why Kevin's going all the way to Vietnam to meet? I don't put anything past you anymore. I'm just telling you. Oh my gosh. And by the way, before we move on, what can you say, obviously, about Kate and Toby for season 3? Are we really going to go deeper into mental illness and depression? Because obviously you've done such a great job touching on that with Randall's panic attacks and just everything, which is so great because it's so relatable. So what can you say in terms of exploring that storyline in season 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are going to be surprised by Isaac and I and Elizabeth and the writers have been, we've been for the last month and a half almost now breaking the 3rd season of the show out completely, and we kind of have it fully formed, and it's really ambitious and I think really surprising. And there was a lot of talk about, you can feel it at the end of this episode, like what happens. We wanted to give closure to the storyline of the family moving past Jack's death and tell other stories involving Jack and the family, and that's one of our big ones, and there are other big ones coming, and it's kind of like Beautiful Mind in our writer's room right now. We're going to go for it in season 3, and it's going to be our most ambitious thing yet, and I think if you were predicting outside of like a Vietnamese Justin walking around, you...
I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah. But I think you wouldn't be able to predict exactly where we're going with everything, and I think it's really exciting. The fact that we're even here at South by Southwest and people are talking with this degree of like fan fiction about a show that's really just a human family dramedy is really exciting, that people have engaged in this way as opposed to just kind of the way we sometimes do with our family dramas. The fact that you guys are talking about it sometimes like Lost is kind of crazy to us, but we love it. And I think it's exciting. I think it gives people a narrative drive, so you watch it on Tuesday night and then you talk about it on Wednesday morning and don't want to miss anything. So that's exciting.
After the Super Bowl episode aired, I did a call with Milo, and I thought one of the most genuine, sweet things that you said was that when you are watching Rebecca in the present day, it's quote unquote, it crushes your heart to watch her without Jack, and also to see everything that she's been through. And I thought, I mean, that speaks volumes of how much you value Mandy and this show and everything. So for both of you, how fulfilling was that to get to do this episode as present day Jack and Rebecca of what could have been? Was that just a dream come true?
It was so sad. It was sad because, I mean, Jack and Rebecca never got that. The fulfilling part for me was being around Justin and Chrissy and Sterling and Susan. Sorry, Sully, he was not in the dream sequences. But it was like anything else that we're, thrown as actors on this show, just a fun note to play for these characters. To experience something that maybe they would not, or something that they did not get the chance to do, was look back on a life lived and understand where they were and where they are and where they've been, or where they were and where they... Yeah, all that stuff.
All that stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah, Mandy, what was that like for you?
It was very bittersweet. But on a silly note, it was nice that somebody else went through the age makeup too, to understand. Yeah. And also, like Milo said, I'm constantly, because I sort of feel like I'm the conduit going back and forth between all of these storylines, I'm like, it feels like 2 different shows. When I get to work with the rest of the cast, and then when Maya and I do our stuff together, it was nice for us all to sort of be a cohesive unit, like on set. It was.
But I definitely felt like parents at their kids' function. Like mom and dad, you're just kind of there standing on the side looking for snacks. you know, and your kids
Not dancing.
not dancing, having fun, like the kids are all having fun doing their thing, and you're just kind of like, okay, you know, just like watching them.
Milo, you also had your very first scene with Chrissy Metz in this episode, right? Jack and Kate got to dance together.
Yes.
It was the first time you ever had a scene with Chrissy. So what was that like?
It was fun. It was fun. You know, it's always satisfying when, you know, Dan and Isaac and Elizabeth will tell me like, oh, hey, we figured out a way to get you with Justin. We figured out a way to get you with Sterling. We figured out a way to get you with Chrissy, you know, and this was, or with Ron, Cephas Jones. I mean, and they're tiny moments. I mean, you know, if you think about how maybe exciting it was to see Jack and Kate dancing in this idea of a vow renewal, you know, for me, the filming, it takes, I don't know, 20 minutes. And so I just soak it up as much as I can, you know, and take after take with Chrissy is, you know, it's just as exciting as being with Mandy as much as we are, and just as exciting as the moments I get with Justin, or same with Sterling, you know. There's small moments that I have to like really hang on to for dear life, because as an actor, if you're not there present with it, then you're just completely missing it, you know. That's why I say put your phones down, soak it in, you know.
When did you say that?
I fucking announced it when we walked in, like a jerk.
I don't remember any of that.
Mandy, you also had such a beautiful scene with Chrissy, because obviously Rebecca and Kate have gone through a lot this season, and you just the look in your eyes when you do these scenes, you don't even have to say anything, and it conveys so much. So what was it like doing that moment with Kate when you
I
see
love
her
working
dress?
with Chrissy. I love working with this guy too. Like any chance that I have to work with my adult children, I'm super excited for the opportunity. But it's so easy with you guys. Like everybody's so present and so good that it's like you have to raise your game in order to like, you know, stay in it with one another, I guess.
I think we all feel like that.
Good group.
Some of them.
Good group.
I'm kidding. I love them all so much. They know I can joke with them like this. And Milo, also talk about the scenes with young Kate, Mackenzie, who plays her. Those just crush me. You are so good with those kids. But particularly because Jack and Kate have that relationship. What was it like doing the scenes with Mackenzie?
Well, the scene that was in tonight's episode where young Kate asks Jack if she can marry him, we filmed that the second episode this season. So we filmed that a long, long time ago, and Dan had told us that we're holding that for this finale, which is kind of a cool thing to consider if you're shooting stuff just because we're there and we have it, and you get to split it up and split up the work, you know. I mean, those kids, and Mandy can attest to this, those kids they're kids, but they're such wonderful, unique, talented spirits that, you know, when Mackenzie asked me that, I mean, it's heartbreaking knowing the fate of Jack, and ultimately, actually more importantly, what Kate won't have because her dad isn't there. But it also leads to this beautiful, you know, dovetail story where it's Kate having to let go, which is ultimately, you know, Kevin saying, hey, let's take this, exhale this breath. I mean, there's just all these beautiful moments that fold into one another, and, you know, working with those kids, I think is the fun setup to see the birth of everything else for the adult big three. So I love being able to pass the baton around, you know, between all of us with all the work that we're all doing. It's like it may be set up here, but it pays off over there.
So beautifully said. Dan, did you always know that the season 2 finale would be when Jack and Rebecca have that present day moment? Was this something you had planned from the beginning?
It was always going to be Kate and Toby's wedding, and we knew where it was ending. I think the fantasy sequence came late. It came off the idea of one of our writers, KJ, I believe, who we thought it would be an interesting device to just kind of ethereally play throughout the episode. So yeah, but pretty much we always kind of know where the season is going, and we make adjustments as we go, little adjustments, but the big picture of it, you have to in the show know exactly we kind of know what we're doing for multiple seasons on a big picture level, and then we start moving in the pieces a little.
I wrote down a ton of questions also, just little things I picked up from the episode. You should have seen me on Friday at the office. I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
It was fun watching it with you guys. It's fun. We never get to see people laugh. And I think Isaac and Elizabeth wrote such a funny script, too, to end our season with. And it was a heavy season. So that was very exciting for us. We were all talking backstage. So thank you guys. I know it's an easy crowd because you probably like the show, but we enjoyed it immensely. Like, I want to travel with you guys.
All right, so here's what I want to know, and I hope you guys want to know this too. Please tell me that Kate did not dump out all of Jack's ashes in the woods.
She left 2.
Two?
There's 2 ashes.
Like, what happened?
She left the big pieces.
She's gonna make necklaces for the family.
Yeah, I think thematically this was a kind of letting go for Kate. Not letting go of her father, but letting go of the things about her father's death that have held her back. So I think it's fair to say she's kind of she let the ashes go.
All of them?
Yes, all of them.
Listen, that tree wasn't looking so good. What she did was spread a little of hopeful life into a place that needed it.
You're not helping. It's not helping me. Who decided that Kate would walk down the aisle with Jack's screwdriver in her bouquet?
Did you guys pick the screwdriver? I don't remember. If it was
I think it was just a logistic thing where it was like, what? I can't be a bat,
Or boxing gloves.
fishing pole, or a table.
Is that just how it?
Or was it scripted as
I think our props guy Andy showed us a lot of pictures of all the different choices, and then it came down to what would fit in a bouquet. And we needed Deja to have the bat, so it couldn't be the bat.
Right. Yeah, by the way, we didn't really talk about Deja in that scene with the baseball bat. Oh, well, here's a question maybe you can answer. How far will there be much of a time jump going into season 3? Are we going to pick up right at the wedding, or will this be like, I don't know,
It's
down the line?
in the past. I mean, in the past, what we've done is kind of moved forward our present-day storylines a normal amount of time, and kind of pretty much continued our past stories as they were. So you'd be picking up. So that's currently in the ballpark of what we're talking about. It helps us to have a little time off the air with the audience. We're off the air for a long time. We'll come back in September. It's March now, so that's like.
I know.
So-
yes, thank you.
So I think
Awful.
it's a nice.
We need breaks too, guys. Come on. Come on.
Listen, I don't know. I said this to Isaac. I don't know why we can't have a sitcom with Jack and the dog, Louie, and or Justin and audio or whatever, like
Or Vietnamese Kevin.
or Vietnamese Kevin. Like we could make this into a sitcom just to run over the summer until the drama picks back up. Who came up with the worst case scenario game? I'm thinking this is like fan fiction gone wrong. Like, what? I mean, that Deja was.
That's
gonna
inspired by all your horrible theories that you call and tell us every week.
I'm only picking up what the fans are telling me. But who came up with that game?
Sure. Hashtag asking for a friend.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We just did a glamour video
right?
before
Yeah.
this. You have to see what they did.
Yeah, that came out of the writer's room, and they wrote just a really, really funny list. We only had time for a few, but of just all where Randall and Beth took that Deja test thing, and we kind of picked the best of. It turns out a room full of neurotic writers are very good at imagining sort of what the worst possibility for a foster child is.
Justin, what was it like doing those scenes with Sterling in the car when you guys did play that game? Like it was Kevin and Kate. They might think we're married, and like
Yeah.
like I don't know how you got through that scene without cracking up.
We did crack up a few times.
Yeah.
So the scene's just beautifully written. It's funny, and then it's tragic, and then it's very serious and touching and heartwarming. There was one particular time where we cracked up. We were talking worst case scenario back and forth, and the camera was over Sterling onto me, and I'm talking about, we're going to be, mistaken for husband and wife in a supermarket, and it's like, who cares? Like, why not, I'll rub your feet when we get home, or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, we're talking, and then Jack gets brought up. We start talking about our dad and about how we wish he was here, and then this fool. Because it's a projector, right? We're not really driving.
It's called rear projection. It used to
Yeah.
be called poor man process. Now we've upgraded to rear projection.
So this fool, all of a sudden we're talking, we're in the middle of this like really serious scene, and
It's like,
let's replay it. And you're the camera, and we're talking, and all of a sudden this guy starts doing this. Yeah. It was my best take.
well, we waited. No. It was actually, and Ken Olin is like, Milo, go run in there. And I'm like, I'm not going to disturb. Wait until a later take.
Nope.
No, it was. It was a later take, and it was the very end. And you guys, he hadn't called cut yet. Dude, I would never like stomp on
It
a
was funny. It
performance.
was hilarious. It was great. The funny thing was
Yeah.
so I was kind of talking to Sterling, to Randall, and his face starts changing, and he's looking at me like he's either having a stroke or he's not paying attention to what I'm saying. And then I realized what he was looking at, which is him, yeah.
Please tell me you have the footage of this that we can show tomorrow because I have to see this.
I'm sure there's
A gag reel, yeah.
of that, yeah.
It's a trick we do often when we do rear projection because it's funny. Who doesn't want to see some random person like, our
It's the
gaffer,
best.
Don Bixby, just like running and...
It's the best, yeah.
Last couple things, because I could talk to you guys all day, which I think they know, but we can't be here all day. Dan, obviously Dan Lario was cast as Toby's dad. You worked with him on Pitch. And then Wendy Malick, of course, played Toby's mom. But tell me about that casting, how it came together. Did you always see them playing Toby's parents?
Well, yeah, Dan had done, Chris Sullivan is also, who plays Toby, is a really big, fancy theater actor in his regular life. And he had done Lombardi on Broadway with Dan Lario, which I think Dan Lario won the Tony for, I want to say, but I might be speaking out of turn. And anyway, they know each other. They're very close. And so we'd always talked about Dan playing Toby's dad. And then Wendy had also done a little bit on Pitch for me and is very close with Dan. We wanted that important story to feel like family. And it felt like, because they all know each other, it did. So that's how it came about.
And finally, was there anything in the episode that fans should really be paying attention to come season 3? Any Easter egg or nugget that's in there that we should have picked up on that clearly I haven't thought of already if I haven't scared you enough as my theories?
I think it's pretty much all out there. I mean, I don't think there's anything hidden. I mean, I think obviously you should be interested to think where is Justin's relationship with a character who's basically like a little sister to Beth gonna go. There's a interesting familial dynamic there. There's also a racial dynamic there that's going to be really interesting for us to explore. And then people should not... Next year is going to be a big Vietnam season for us. And I think if people think they know where the show can live and not live, like they really don't know yet, we're going to be really going for it and doing some really, really cool stuff. And I think Milo's going to get a real showcase as a younger version of Jack. And I think you might even be getting to see a lot of Jack and Rebecca's origin story as well. So that's really exciting for us. Yeah.
I can't wait. I just want to say personally, thank you all for coming. I've known this cast now for about 2 years, and they truly are my favorites. I love each and every one of them. Every cast will say they are family. This is really a family. They are the nicest, most talented people you will ever meet. If I could give them all an Emmy right now, I would, because they deserve all of them.
Thanks.
No, I'll take it. We will take it.
Guys, you won an Emmy.
Anyway, don't post
Thank you, Jess.
anything.
Don't, please don't post any of the spoilers online. It would mean a lot to us to not have that break online.
Yeah, just
24
until
hours.
Tuesday.
Just till
tomorrow.
Tuesday night.
No, like after
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's what we meant. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Thank you,
Really
guys.
great watching.
Again, not to ruin it for everyone. So thank you, guys. Thank you.